Good evening. Ira Epstein with your Sunday evening weekend update for your metal markets. And this is your weekly edition, and we are on Sunday, the 22nd of May, 2022. I took a drive, was out of the city. I'm back in. I figured, hey, I better get this done before it gets too late. Interesting time. I was watching national news, and again, Philadelphia now closing down the school system. I had mentioned last week how by Northwestern we have a township called Evanston where it's located, and the Evanston Township High School had closed. They're still saying in the city of Chicago, no, they're not yet ready to go back to mask mandates, but if the numbers keep climbing, they will. So get ready, because this other wave is here. You're seeing it. Obviously, they want to watch the kids. They bring it home, and they're like little petri dishes. They bring home everything from school, and we seem to catch it. That's the nature of school. We were all there. I had mumps, measles, all the things you get. So in looking at the market, obviously we're dealing with still the situation in the Ukraine. It's still a nasty situation. The fighting goes on. The bloodshed goes on. President Erdogan of Turkey is going to milk the Swedish and Finnish bids to get into NATO for everything he can. At the end of the day, he'll probably give in and let them in, but they're going to have to stop certain things that he wants them to stop, allow some arms sales, things of that nature if they want in. He's got the upper hand. It takes one vote in NATO to have a veto. So he has the vote. Over the weekend, actually began on Friday, Russia cut off its natural gas to Finland, but the Finns were ready for this. They knew it was coming. So if you're watching the markets, you're going, how come it didn't react? They knew it was coming. They've been preparing for it. Yeah, it'll hurt a little bit, but they've got their other sources at this point. When we look at the markets in the gold, you stuck your neck out once last month, all the way up to 2078, and you have fallen back from there over $200 an ounce right into support, which is what I was saying, right here at the 1822 level. Now, this is the number the market, there we go, shouldn't take out if it's really going to keep a bullish bias. 1750, 390. Staying over the Bollinger Band or hitting it after you're in an uptrend, I get it. Momentum is turned down, the bias is up, the trend is up, and the battleground's right here for that next $75 with resistance all the way up there at the 1954 level. When we take a look at the weekly chart on just a closing basis, the bias is clearly to the downside. Now, the good news is we have had a bit of a bounce. You've come off near that 1800 level and rallied about $30 from there. You can see on a weekly bar chart, you crack through the 1800 level, but no time at all. You're up $60 almost off those lows. So the market is saying maybe that's too low of an area. It has now a pattern of a higher high, lower low, which is not a trend. The market is fighting a battle in the general vicinity of the 100-week average up to the 18-week, but the bigger support's the Bollinger Band, which is just missed hitting. So really, this quadrant's your support zone. This is your resistance zone from the 100 up to the 18-week moving average. In terms of momentum, it's been down. So you're void of a trend. The bias is down. Momentum has been down. The gold-silver ratio still acting like maybe there's a correction that can happen of significance, but it's not here yet. What silver's basically done is gone from the upper Bollinger Band to the lower band, one swoop all the way down, and it's gotten a bounce ever since we heard that Beijing, well, it's not Beijing, it's Shanghai, is being released in terms of the zero tolerance policy in steps. June 1st, the biggest step will roll in. Gradual mini steps are happening right now, and they are many, like opening grocery stores in certain areas, not necessarily citywide. But the bigger steps start happening as long as cases don't pop back up. They pop back up, they're going right back into the lockdown, and that's why the metal markets aren't just running. They're not saying to themselves, oh, this is over, now we can open the factories. There's still plenty of trepidation going on here. Same in the copper. You basically went from the upper band to the lower, but I think these markets are waiting on China. Once China comes alive, well, what will happen is demand for the different raw materials to make the factories run will be coming back to life. Right now, there's no demand from that. In the platinum market, the trend has been down. The market is fighting a battle at the 200-week moving average down to the lower Bollinger Band for support, but the trend is down. You'd have to get up and over this number, let's say 1026, to really say that the market's having anything but a bounce in a bear market. If you get at the end of the week the red line closing under 79, then I think the dollar can correct more. This is no more than a correction that I think is still being bought by the dollar bulls, and I think they'll use it that way as well. You know, last week I was mentioning pivot points, and there was a book, you know, how I made $1 million in the commodity market with a very minor investment. And I must tell you, okay, in 1980s, the man that developed pivot points, I'm not going to use his name because he got himself into trouble in the industry and he's been barred from it, and I don't want to do that for him. But that doesn't mean his work wasn't phenomenal. And his work was phenomenal. And one of the things that I watched him develop was pivot points. And we were one of the firms. There was a firm called Stotler. And we were the other firm. And he would run monies through the people would give him managed money. I never saw so much money made so fast. He didn't write the book, How I Turned $1 Million into Dollars. That happened too. But there's many reasons that happens. Part of it is, I think you get too big for the market in different ideas. But when you look at what these are, and you're sitting there and you're doing your normal trading and you're not trying to put out in a marketplace back then was nowhere near the size of today, you get too big for the market. And he admitted that because he would say, Ira, I can't take any more managed accounts. We had accounts that I remember, I called a postman and I said, you've got to take some of this money. And he did. And it changed his whole life. And we did that as best as we could to people that would listen, not because we thought that the technique wouldn't work, but commodity trading has its waves to it. I mean, this is not investing. This is trading, folks. And it does have the waves. So if you want to learn something, this is probably one of the coolest techniques I saw. He developed a technique where you look at the previous day's range. There's a mathematical formula. I made a video series for it so you can understand it. And in it, you develop sell lines and buy lines. Okay? I think they're real important. And I think you want to use those lines in conjunction with momentum, which he did not do. I think the market can tell you with them using the slow stochastics as you're approaching overbought, oversold to give you more confidence in the trade, or tell you in one way, hey, this trade isn't going to work. You're selling and the market was oversold and momentum's picking up, it's going to go through you to another number. I found techniques with it. Do I still use it? Let me put it this way. I promise you it is in my charting. I promise you that I look at it. There isn't a week that I don't look at it for entry and exit points basis my other work. No, I am not a day trader. This is a day trade technique. If you'd like to look at it, that's all it's worth, is looking. You decide what you're going to do with it. That isn't my job. I created a video series to teach you the formula, how to apply it, how to tie in momentum to it. To get it, it's free. Just go to our website under free offers and look at the other vehicles that we offer our traders. I don't know why you don't trade through us. We're low priced and we offer an awful lot. You can also take your cursor, move it up here, and away you go from there. In the meantime, I'm Ira Epstein. You have yourself a great day. I will talk to you all Monday morning. Take care now.